Om Shanti. It was a beautiful song that was played. That we love to be in the company of God. And when we are in the company of God, life becomes so beautiful. And we love to live our life also. Yesterday, we saw the first chapter of Shrimad Bhagavad Gita and the background of how it came into existence and how the present time is the same Gita episode that we are witnessing, where all the characters of Mahabharata are practically on this field of action, on this karma kshetra. And it is this time that the need for the Supreme Being also is there, that he has to come and reveal the significances that he had mentioned in Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, so that the ignorance dispels and we are again in the light of knowledge. We are again full of that wisdom. And when Arjuna was lamenting on the consequences of the war because of his attachment with his own near and dear ones, whom he did not want to lose, the first lesson that God gave him was, you are not this body. We are all souls. And soul is immortal, eternal. It is beyond the cycle of birth and death. And just as we change a costume, physical costume, and we do not lament on it, similarly, the body is also a costume. And when we take out the old costume, we put on the new costume. The soul is immortal. No elements of nature can ever harm it. Yes, definitely, when the values are there, the glow of the soul increases. It starts shining. Its celestial degrees are there. But when the devilish qualities influence, the glow of the soul diminishes. So this is why the need is there to inculcate the divine values. And he reminds Arjuna that, hey Arjuna, according to the original religion of thyself, you are not worthy to fear, as there is no other more beneficial path than to fight being the embodiment of thy religion. So which is thy religion? Which is the religion of my own self? The religion of the soul. Here, God did not talk of any bodily religions. The partitions that human beings have created in the world in the name of religion. but he is talking of the eternal religion of each and every soul, no matter which nationality he comes from, no matter which religious background he comes from, but the eternal religion of each and every soul is one. We also saw in our morning session, which is that religion. And here he has mentioned that the prosperity within the soul is stable and imperishable. Nobody can destroy that. This is according to the principles of Sankhya Yoga, the knowledge and yoga. Human beings, it is the communion of the body and the soul. Human, the word comes from the word humus, and that is the soul, that is the soil. And the soul, the spirit, is the source of unique light. It is the divine light, a spirit, which is not like the physical light. And when they both get together, there is life. So life is the communion between the soul and the soil, the soul and the body, the spirit and the five elements of nature, the human and the being. Being is the conscient entity, and human is the physical entity. So life is when these two comes in connection with one another. And we all know the reality of the physical body, that the body is made up of five elements of nature. And therefore, the body demands the five elements of nature for its survival. We all need oxygen. We cannot survive without oxygen. Why? Because this body is made up of oxygen. No other gases can replace. There is so much of suffocation that we experience. Similarly, we need water to survive. Why? Because 60 to 70% of this body contains water. When we drink water, we never think how much we want to drink. But as soon as the water level is balanced, we leave the glass. We would not drink excess. Diesel, kerosene, petrol cannot replace water. Even though they are also the resources of this earth, water is also a resource of this earth, but for our survival, we need water only, because the body is made up of water. So the five elements of nature, the body demands for its survival. Similarly, within this body, there is this eternal entity, the immortal entity. Does that also require something for its survival? Do we need something? Or you think that Atma is nirlepa, so it does not need or require anything for its survival? Just as the body requires five elements of nature, does the soul also require anything for its survival? What do you think? Yes? Do we need something to survive besides the five elements of nature? Yes, the soul also requires 7 core values for its survival. And which are those 7 core values which every human being needs in this world? They are knowledge. Which knowledge? We find in this world, the scientific knowledge has excelled. Human beings have reached the moon, the planets, they are planning so much. So we do not lack the scientific knowledge, but the knowledge that we want is the spiritual wisdom, the spiritual insight, the spiritual knowledge. And why I need this knowledge? Because the greatest ignorance in human life is ego. Ego is the greatest ignorance. And when people are egoistic, the quality of life has changed. The relationship has changed. The relationships are breaking up because human beings are in the darkness. So no understanding is developed. There is clashes of opinions. And the most beautiful relationships also break because of ego. So we all need spiritual knowledge. Why? So that we can neutralize that ego. Spiritual knowledge becomes that agent. It's like a catalyst which transforms the human personality and neutralizes the ego which is there within ourselves, the ignorance that is prevailing, and we come into the light of knowledge. So we are able to develop better understanding. And then the human relationship also is sustained instead of breaking up. So this is why from childhood we are taught these prayers in school. Oh God, take me away from this darkness towards the light. Which is that light? The light of spiritual knowledge. So that I can see myself in a better way. I am able to fight with the ignorance that is prevailing in my life and overcome that darkness. Dispel that darkness from my life and others' life too. So this is why we all aspire for knowledge. Together with that, we also need purity. Why do I need purity? Because that is my real identity. When a child is born, he's so